Very much. How's everybody here?
We are great.
Oh,
thank you for
cheerio. To you, sir.
Didn't expect that.
I did not expect that voice to come out of that mouth.
A wonderful English accent. Does it throw people off though the first time they talk to you?
It does. It's happened a couple of times out here already.
Really?
They look at me and say I look like an American, and then I talk. They're like, "Whoa."
So where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
Nottingham. Yeah.
Oh.
Forest, Robin Hood.
Oh, yeah. Robin Hood.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Oh, I gotta take a trip there. Is that a cool place?
It's a cool place.
Yeah, how's Maid Marian? How's she doing?
I think she's fine. There's a lot of Maid Marians here in
Oh,
Nottingham.
really?
Absolutely.
All right, just checking.
Paul, reading up on you know, you got into karate. It was age 7 when you got into martial arts, and then is that something that just kind of kept on rolling and got you where you are today? When did you get bit by the MMA bug?
I think it would be high school out here in secondary school.
Okay.
You know, I just came across the DVD. It looked cool. You can get paid for, you know,
punching people.
Punching people, basically.
Right.
I don't know what I was allowed to say there, but yeah, you can get paid for hitting people.
Sure.
I was always good at that, so I thought.
Well, I gotta ask you, Paul, how you feeling right now? I know that cutting weight's probably not the funnest thing to do. Where are you at right now? You're weighing. How you feeling?
Yeah, my weight's really good. I'm where I should be.
Okay.
Oh, good.
You know, it's like you said, it's not always the best thing to be doing cutting weight. You know, losing weight fast and drastically is not always advised. But you know, it's part of what we do.
Right.
Sure.
It's part of what we do. It's what the fans don't see.
Yeah.
But it's part of what we do. It's one of the hardest parts of what we do.
But that probably gives you some anger, you know, when you're in there, right? I'd be pissed if I couldn't eat. I'd start punching bitches. Sometimes you get hungry.
I think she's cutting weight now.
Clearly.
Now, Paul, normally you carry about 185 or so. Is that kind of your strutting around weight?
Yeah,
so I mean, dropping down to 170 or so. Is it something where people aren't allowed to eat in front of you? Because I'm a guy who loves food, and I know when I'm hungry and I see other people eating, it pisses me off.
Yeah.
I've kind of got past that. But these guys was going to go out for a steak last night, but they changed their mind. They didn't want me sitting in there, but you know, you get used to it. You get used to it.
Yeah. Now, we just had Gilbert Melendez in studio here. He obviously trains with your opponent, Nick Diaz. Yeah. He kind of broke down the fight for us. He says that Nick is going to stand and bang with you, which, I mean, I kind of was a little shocked to hear that, being that, you know, you're a very heavy hitter. Nick Diaz is a pretty good boxer, but does that surprise you that he would stand and bang with you?
I'm not surprised they're saying he's going to stand and bang with me.
Okay.
That's what everybody does that gets in the cage with me, whether they do that or not.
Once they get hit once, it's kind of
changes the whole
game plan.
Changes the whole game plan really quickly. I mean, like you said, Nick Diaz is a great boxer. He hasn't got my power. He hasn't fought anybody of my caliber in recent times. You know, he's on a 9-fight winning streak, but you know, I'd have probably knocked all of those 9 guys out in the first round as well. So
nice.
He hasn't really fought anybody like me, like I say, and I hope he stands and bangs because I want that belt and I want it in the quickest possible time. I ain't here to hang around. San Diego seems like a party town, so I just want to get the job done.
That's what I'm talking about.
Paul, Semtex Daley with us in studio will be part of the big card Saturday night, the Strikeforce event out at the Valley View Casino Center. And you mentioned cutting weight. After the fight, what's the first thing you eat?
After the fight?
After the fight.
I'll be drinking.
Oh, okay.
I'll do the British style. I'll be drinking. I'll find myself a pint somewhere or some champagne. And, my partner in crime, Andre Winner, you know, we're going to tear it up. So it's going to be a big night in San Diego.
I didn't even notice Andre. He's right there.
Paul, where did the nickname Semtex come from? What's the origin?
To be honest with you, me and my friend we were just sat when I used to work a job, and we were just thinking of ways to describe the way I fight. And a lot of my early fights were quick, explosive knockouts. So we just went on something like Wikipedia or something like that, and you know, we just looked for some names. We just looked for some names of explosives in Semtex.
That's an explosive.
all right, that's cool.
It sounded pretty cool.
Okay.
You know,
that is
cool.
cool.
Stuck with it.
Now, I have to ask you about what is going down right now with the Strikeforce being purchased by the UFC. I'm sure a lot of people want to get your thoughts about that, being what happened to you in the UFC. In case people don't know, you punched Josh Koscheck after the ball, which, by the way, thank you for doing that. I'm totally okay with you doing that.
I heard a lot of people saying that as well. So.
But what do you think about that? You know, Dana White banned you from the UFC, said you're never going to fight in the UFC again, and then the UFC buys your company.
Yeah.
Right.
What does that mean for you?
Yeah, that is kind of mad. You know, at first, I wasn't really a big fan of the whole idea because I had like a little vendetta against the whole Zuffa organization.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
but, you know, they came and bought out Strikeforce, and it's going to mean good things for the company as well. But I enjoyed being the competition, you know. UFC is a great company. They do great things. But I enjoyed being the competition, so I was a little bit disappointed, but I had to focus on what I got to do, and that's be the champion.
Will you have a conversation with Dana at some point to kind of mend the bridge, or?
I don't know. I've not ever really spoken to Dana. Anything I've heard or anything I've seen has been by video or by, you know, word of mouth.
On the telly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the television.
Yeah. On the television.
While sipping a cup of tea.
Maybe a crumpet or two. Yes.
So relatable.
Maybe me and Dana could sit down and have a crumpet or two.
There you go. There you go. Maybe a pint.
We'll talk it over.
Yeah.
A pint afterwards.
Yeah, there you go.
Very nice.
Once it's all sorted out, we'll have a pint. No problem.
Periodic visits to the loo.
Yes, to the loo.
Do you hate Americans that think this kind of lingo is so funny?
Just particular ones.
Yeah.
It's cool. It works.
Just white chicks with curly hair. That
It normally is. I'm sick of that.
That's hilarious.
It's awesome.
I have to get you all drunk and then it kind of that's so good.
Done and done.
All right, where do we sign up?
Paul Semtex Daley with us in studio. He is fighting Saturday night at the big Strikeforce event at the Valley View Casino Center. You have a girl? You're in a relationship right now, or is it just a little too much to juggle while you're training?
Uh-oh.
Interesting question.
Yeah, I have a girlfriend. But still, if you want to party with me. I said party. That's it.
Party. Yes.
Just hang out.
It's not always
Ain't
cool
no
to
thing.
just hang out with a bunch of guys. It's nice to have some female faces around.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He doesn't want to see your knickers or anything like that.
Okay, Sky. We get it.
I can relate. You know what I'm saying?
Paul, you mentioned you're residing in Nottingham and you're fighting and training out of England. Is that a detriment doing it over in the UK when a lot of it's going over here in the US, or does it matter?
It doesn't really matter, you know. I've got American coach as well that I fly over to the UK. I train a lot in Holland as well over at the Mike's gym. So I like the way I've got things now. I go to the source of everything, you know. If I want to improve my Thai boxing, I go to Thailand or Holland. If I want to improve my wrestling, I don't come to America, but I fly America to me and bring my wrestling coach, Kenny Johnson, over. And, you know, I've always done it that way, and it's worked best for me because the training partners I have back in the UK, you know, I've always been with them, you know. They know how to work with me and get me ready for a fight, so I see no reason to change it.
Yeah.
I hate to bring up the Josh Koscheck fight again,
No,
but it was so fascinating to me. Like, what was going through your mind after? Like, did you just kind of lose it in like a spring break, or like what was happening in the octagon?
I don't know. They put some funny things in English tea. I just went crazy.
Yeah.
Not really.
And did you recognize afterwards what you did, or did it just kind of be like whatever?
I just went with the flow of things, you know.
Yeah.
I'm a volatile character sometimes, and
What?
being in such a frustrating fight, I didn't know how best to handle it.
And was he chirping at you? Was he talking to you in the cage, or was it just?
We were both talking to each other, but it was nothing
out of the ordinary.
Anything. No, he was just talking.
He didn't like insult the queen or anything.
Yeah, no, he would have done. Then he would have been in trouble.
Yeah, you don't. I heard you don't do that.
Nobody does
Hear that, Nick Diaz?
Yeah, Nick Diaz.
Nobody does that.
But you know, in the midst of a fight, and there's the guy across from you wants to hand you your head and punch your face in. I mean, is it hard to keep your emotions in check when you're in the middle
Especially
of it?
when somebody like Koscheck who's talking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, he's known as a jerk by so many people.
It wasn't really the fact what he was saying. It was just the fact that the fight was so frustrating. It was just, you know, I don't mind being in a fight if I feel like I'm in a fight. With Nick Diaz, I know I'm going to be in a fight because he comes to fight, so I'm looking forward to it. And but with Koscheck, he was talking a fight, and then it just didn't turn out like that. So
Understandable. Saturday night, he'll be part of the welterweight title fight. He'll be taking on Nick Diaz, Paul Semtex, Daley. If you don't have your tickets, make sure you get down there. We're going to be down there for the whole card on Saturday. And like I said before, if you want to go check out the weigh-ins on Friday, due to the rain, they've moved them inside. They're going to be at the Crown Plaza San Diego in the Kona Coast Room at 5 o'clock. Public is welcome. Go down and check out the weigh-ins. It'll be kind of something special to see before the fight on Saturday. Paul, thanks for coming in, man. Pleasure to meet you.
Thanks for having me.
Good luck, man.
Best of luck on Saturday.
Drop those bombs, man.
Absolutely.